Hello students, welcome back to today's video class. As in the last video class we have started our last chapter number 5, air and atmosphere. In yesterday's online class I have discussed with you about this chapter, and in the last video class I have explained up to the layer of the atmosphere, a different layer of the atmosphere. And I have also discussed with you on online classes about the composition of air. Okay. Today again I am going to start with the composition of air. As you know that air is a mixture of gases. So until 18th century it was believed that air was a pure substance and element. Today we know that air is a mixture of pure substance not a pure substance for the following reasons. What is the reason behind it? Because the composition of air varies from place to place. As we move to forest areas, so there you can see the percentage of oxygen will be more than that of the cities, whereas in cities and industrial areas percentage of carbon dioxide will be more than the forest area. Some places were humid, such as coastal areas are very humid, whereas some areas are very dry, less humid, like desert areas and hilly areas. Okay. Same way the composition of nitrogen and oxygen remains nitrogen in the air. So there is no specific chemical formula of air. So we cannot express air in a fixed chemical or a definite chemical formula. So in this way we can say that air is a mixture of gases. It is an impure substance, but it's not a compound. Main constituent of air that you already know, that constituents of air. We will discuss. Main topic of our today's class is constituents of air, or we can simply say composition of air. We can also say constituents of air or composition of air. First composition is the, as you already know, nitrogen. Second is oxygen. Third is carbon dioxide. Fourth one is noble gases. Fifth one is water vapor, or we can say it is moisture. And sixth one is dust particles. Okay. So in this way we can see there are compositions of different gases is different in different places also. Percentage of nitrogen is about 78% is nitrogen in air. After that 21% is oxygen. Okay. After that out of the rest 78 and 21 makes a 99% is already is nitrogen and oxygen. Only 1% remains. Out of 1%, what we will see, 0.04% is carbon dioxide. Then noble gases 0.93%. and water vapor varies is variable, and dust particles are also, we can say, they are variable. Okay, so now one by one we will see the properties and uses of this of the gases in the air. So first of all, nitrogen, as you know that nitrogen is a very inert gas. It does not have helps in a combustion. It is also called a inert gas. It is a inert gas. In what sense it is it is inert gas? Because it does not support burning. It does not support burning. Rather supporting the burning, it controls the burning. Rather supporting the burning, it controls the burning. If nitrogen is not present in the air, in the presence of oxygen, once everything will be burned at once. Other nitrogen is having other uses also, because you know that nitrogen gas is packed in some packet foods like chips, etc. Where nitrogen gas is filled, because in nitrogen gas microbes does not grows. Okay, and they keep the food in correct form. So nitrogen reacts with oxygen present in the air also sometimes to give nitrogen oxide. Next composition is the oxygen. As you know, oxygen is very important for us. Oxygen, main use of oxygen on this earth is help in respiration. It helps in respiration. Respiration means what? When we inhale oxygen, it helps to burn our food to give out carbon dioxide, water and energy. So it is helps on respiration, and it supports burning. It supports burning, or we can say that it is a supporter of burning. It is a supporter of burning. So oxygen itself, it does not burns, but it helps in burning. Next is the percentage of carbon dioxide. It's very traces, 0.4% out of 1% left over after nitrogen and oxygen. So this carbon dioxide is chemically reactive gas. It is mostly acidic in nature. It does not support burning. It does not support. Again, it does not support burning. Rather, it helps to put off fire. It helps in photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide helpful in photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide is a pollutant. It also causes the increase of carbon dioxide in the air will cause to air pollution also. So in this way, it maintains the temperature on the earth also. Because next, the noble gases. What are the noble gases that present in the air is helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. But all of these noble gases are found in the air in very traces. Means you can see 0.93% all the noble gases. All the 6 noble gases makes a 0.93%. Since they are noble gases, they are inert gases, they don't react with any of the other gases present in the atmosphere. So, but they have some useful uses in nature, as helium, neon and argon are used in lightning signboards. Helium, neon and argon. Helium is also a next lighter gas to the hydrogen. So nowadays we are using helium balloons for weather forecasting. As earlier we are using hydrogen gases. Since hydrogen is very explosive gas, so now we are using helium, next lighter gas after the hydrogen, as a weather balloon. Okay, krypton is used for photography plates, making of photography plates. Xenon is used in the manufacture of semiconductor and electronic use gadgets. Okay, is used in a semiconductors. Next is the water vapor in the air is responsible for weather change as such as rain. More air content, water vapor content in the air will increase the formation of clouds, and it will be more rainfall. Okay, so water vapor content is also very important. Next is the dust particles, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen. But these are not good for atmosphere, but it's still present in the air because of the burning of fuels in vehicles, the smokes that come out from the industries, thermal power plants, burning of other fossil fuels in the form of chulhas and other things. In villages, many people burn woods also to cook food for cooking purposes. The smoke comes out. All these smokes contains lots of gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, etc. And the dust particle also, due to various reasons, that is called suspended particulate matter, SPM. These are responsible for air pollution in nature. We don't have uses of these impurities. Whether the increase of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide in the air leads to the formation of sulfuric acid and nitric acid. When they comes in contact with further water vapor and rainwater, they forms acid, and when this acid falls down with rainwater, they are called acid rains. These acid rains are very harmful to us, as you know. They pollute the soil, they destroy the monuments. Okay, sometimes they may cause our skin disease also, because when they fall may come in contact with our skin. So in this way we can see that the constituent of different constituents of air, their percentage, and how they are useful and not usefulness of the different gases present in the air. Okay. Now, one experiment I will show you that shows the necessity of oxygen for burning. Okay, the activity is also given in your book. You can see. So now see, presence of oxygen in the air, and we can say oxygen is a supporter of combustion. We'll see how oxygen is a supporter of combustion. Okay. So these experiments we have already seen in your previous class, I think in class 5. But again I will show you. For that, what we will take a bowl like this, put some water in it. Okay. Now place a candle in this. Okay. Now, what you will do, once you are seeing that it is burning, the candle is lighted, take a glass or any gas jar and cover it from the top, and cover it from the top. What you will see, after few minutes or few seconds, automatically the flame will put off. Why flame is being put off? Because the air that is present inside the jar, it contains oxygen. Okay, but after when the complete oxygen is used up for this burning of candle, there is no oxygen inside the this jar, and ultimately due to lack of oxygen, this candle flame is by own it will put off. Okay, so the flame will extinguish automatically, because here the percentage of carbon dioxide will increase and there is lack of oxygen. So this shows that oxygen is a supporter of combustion, whereas carbon dioxide helps to extinguish the fire. Okay, so we can see the experiment. We have seen the experiment that shows the oxygen is a supporter of combustion. Another experiment that we can do, that is how to show that 1/5 out of 100% air, approximately 21% is oxygen. That means it is 1/5 of the air. 1/5 of the total air is mainly oxygen. To show that experiment, what we can do? We can do this experiment by taking take a beaker like this. Okay, take a beaker. Here or a test beaker. You have to take a test tube, then some steel wool, soapy water, and a marker and a ruler. So what you will do, take place a test tube inside this jar or beaker. Okay, so using a marker, mark the points to 5 centimeter in this to the test tube. Make 5 markings, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 marking you have to do with the help of a scale and a marker. Then wash the steel wool with a soapy water to remove the thin layer of oil. Insert a small piece of steel wool in the test tube and push it in the bottom of the test tube to prevent it from falling on the base of that. So you have to take a steel wool and clean it small and place this steel wool at the top here. This is steel wool. What is the use of this steel wool? After inserting the steel wool at the bottom of the test tube, then you place the test tube inside this beaker. Okay. Okay, in inverted form. You have to place it in inverted form. So you can use here a stand. You can use a stand to hold the test tube, because the test tube will otherwise fall down, because it will not stand by its own. You can take a stand also. Here it is a beaker. You have to take it is a beaker. This is the test tube. Now, bring a beaker filled with water just below the mouth of the test tube. Now we have to fill the beaker with water up to the mouth of the. You have to fill the water with water up to this mouth. Just up to the mouth you have to take water in the beaker. Now what will happen? Just the height of the test tube, as such the water in the beaker just touches the 0 mark of the test tube. Leave the test tube for a week. You leave this test tube for a week. Okay. Measure the level of water in the test tube after a week. After a week, you see the rise of water level inside the test tube. Suppose it goes to this mark. From 0 to 1 mark, it is raised up to this. Okay. We have taken 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 centimeters. So it will be, suppose, 1 centimeter mark. Okay. What you will observe, the steel wool has roasted with the water level in the test tube has risen by 1 centimeter. This steel wool get rusted because it is in the contact with oxygen present in the air inside the test tube, and the moisture that it's getting from this water. Okay. So what you will see, this steel will become rusted because it absorbs oxygen and water. Okay. So that's why after 1 week you will see the water will rise up to the 1 centimeter mark inside the test tube. Why it absorbs 1 centimeter mark up to water rises up to 1 centimeter mark? That means this steel wool, the oxygen which was present in the air is used up by this steel wool. Now the only composition of air present inside the test tube is nitrogen, oxygen, other water vapor, noble gases, etc., etc. But the total oxygen is used up. This oxygen, when the oxygen will used up, that much water is rise up, because here the air pressure becomes less and water will rise up. Okay. So this shows that air content, 1/5 of the air content oxygen and 78% is nitrogen. There are other experiments are also there to show that air contains nitrogen, air contains carbon dioxide. So we will see one by one these experiments. How can we prove? So today we have seen the composition of air and 2 experiments, that oxygen is a supporter of combustion, and how much, what percentage of air contains oxygen, that is 1/5, that is approximately 20%. It varies from place to place, so on an average we are taking 21%. So 21% of the air is oxygen. Okay, students, I hope you have understood the topic which I have taught today and you have enjoyed the class. Okay, see you later in the next video class. Thank you.